You know, ladies and gentlemen, they say in Hollywood you always have to start someplace. And today we're going to go into a little bit of history that a lot of people do know, and maybe a lot of people don't. Now, we've had a spotlight shown on John Wayne's last movie to shoot us in a recent podcast on our channel. But today we're going to be looking at John Wayne's early years, especially his formative years before he became the superstar that he's still what he is today. Now, born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa. He was professionally known as John Wayne and nicknamed the Duke or Duke Wayne, and at one point he was called Duke Morrison. He was an American actor, again, who became a popular icon through his starring roles in numerous films, which were produced during Hollywood's golden age, especially through his starring roles in westerns and war movies. Now, according to IMDb, he appeared in a total of 179 film and TV productions. Again, he was a top box office draw for nearly 35 years. He also appeared with many important Hollywood stars of his era. In 1999, the AFI selected Wayne as one of the greatest male stars of classic American cinema. Now, he was born again in Winterset, Iowa, but he grew up in Southern California. After losing his football scholarship at the University of SC from a body-serving accident, he began working for the Fox Film Corporation. He appeared mostly in small parts, but his first leading role came in Raoul Walsh's western The Big Trail, one of the biggest epics of his era. This was an early widescreen film that was a box office failure. He played leading roles in numerous B-movies during the 1930s, most of them westerns, while becoming a major name. He also did a hockey movie, which we talked about in the channel before. Now, John Ford's Stagecoach made Wayne a mainstream star, and eventually starred in 142 motion pictures altogether. Now, when he was born, Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, at 224 South 2nd Street in Winterset, the local paper, the Winterset Madisonian, reported on page 4 of the edition of May 30th, 1907, that Wayne weighed 13 pounds at birth. Wayne claimed his middle name was soon changed from Robert to Michael when his parents decided to name their next son Robert, but extensive research has found no such legal change, although it may have been changed informally, or the documentation may have been lost. Wayne's legal name apparently remained Marion Robert Morrison his entire life, although to this day his original name is almost referred to as Marion Michael Morrison. Now, Wayne's father, Clyde Leonard Morrison, born 1884, died 1937, was the son of American Civil War veteran Marion Mitchell Morrison, who passed away in 1915. Wayne's mother, the former Mary Molly Alberta Brown, who died in 1970, was from Lancaster County, Nebraska. Wayne had Scotch, Irish, English, and Irish descent. His great-great-grandfather, Robert Morrison, born in 1782, left County Antrim, Ireland, with his mother, arriving in New York in 1799 and eventually settling in Adams County, Ohio. The Morrisons were originally from the Olive Lewis and Outer Hebrides, Scotland, and he was raised Presbyterian. Now, Wayne's family moved to Palmdale, California, and then in 1916 to Glendale at 404 Isabel Street, where his father worked as a pharmacist. He attended Glendale Union High School, where he performed well in both sports and academics. Wayne was part of his high school's football team and its debating team. He was also the president of the Latin Society and contributed to the school's newspaper sports column. Yes, John Wayne was a journalist. A local fireman at the station on his route to school in Glendale started calling him Little Duke because he never went anywhere without his huge Airedale Terrier Duke. He preferred Duke to Marion, and the nickname stuck. Wayne attended Wilson Middle School in Glendale, and as a teen, he worked in an ice cream shop for a man who shot horses for Hollywood studios. He was also active as a member of the Order of the Mole. He played football for the 1924 league champion Glendale High School squad. Now, Wayne eventually applied to U.S. Naval Academy, but was not accepted due to poor grades. Instead, he attended the USC, majoring in pre-law. He was a member of the Trojan Knights and Sigma Chi fraternities. Wayne, who stood at the time, some people say 6'6", but information provided say 6 feet 4.5. Also played on the USC football team under Coach Howard Jones. However, a broken collarbone injury curtailed his athletic career. Wayne later noted that he was too terrified of Jones' reaction to reveal the actual cause of his injury, which was a body surfing accident. He lost his athletic scholarship and without funds had to leave the university. Now, as a favor to Coach Jones, who had given solid Western film star Tom Mix tickets to USC games, director John Ford and Mix hired Wayne as a prop boy and extra. Wayne later credited his walk, talk, and persona to his acquaintance with Wyatt Earp, who was good friends with Tom Mix. Wayne soon moved to bit parts, establishing a longtime friendship with the director who provided most of those roles. That was, of course, John Ford. Early in his period, he had a minor uncredited role as a guard in a 1926 film, Bradley's The Magnificent. Wayne also appeared with his USC teammates playing football in Brown of Harvard, The Dropkick, and Salute, and Columbia's Makers of Men, which was filmed in 1930 and released in 1931. Now, while working for Fox in bit roles, Wayne was given on-screen credit as Duke Morrison only once in Words and Music. Director Raoul Walsh saw him moving studio furniture while working as a prop boy and cast him in his first starring role in The Big Trail. For his screen name, Walsh suggested Anthony Wayne after Revolutionary War General Mad Anthony Wayne. Fox Studios chief Winfield Sheehan rejected it as sounding too Italian. Walsh then suggested John Wayne. Sheehan agreed and the name was set. Wayne was not even present for the discussion. His pay at the time was raised to, get this, $105 a week. A bargain at 50,000 times the price. Now, The Big Trail was to be the first big-budget outdoor spectacle of the sound era, made at the then staggering cost of over $2 million, which would be equivalent to $35 million in 2023. It was to use hundreds of extras and wide vistas of the American Southwest, still largely unpopulated at the time. Now, to take advantage of the breathtaking scenery, it was filmed in two versions, a standard 35mm version and another in the new 70mm grandeur film process, using an innovative camera and lenses. I think this was also done for maybe Napoleon. I could be wrong, but maybe you can correct me on that. Many of the audience who saw it in grandeur stood and cheered, but only a handful of theaters were equipped to show the film in its widescreen process, and the effort was largely wasted at the time. Now, the film was considered a huge box office flop at the time, but came to be highly regarded by modern critics. Now, after the commercial failure of The Big Trail, Wayne was relegated to small roles in 8 pictures, including Columbia's The Deceiver, in which, get this, he played a corpse. He appeared in the serial The Three Musketeers, an updated version of the Alexandre Dumas novel in which the protagonists were soldiers in the French Foreign Legion in then contemporary North Africa. Came out in 1933. He played the lead with his name over the title. In many low-budget Poverty Row westerns, mostly in monogram pictures and serials for Mascot Pictures Corporation, he also appeared. By Wayne's own estimation, he appeared about 80 of these horse hoppers from 30 to 39. In Riders of Destiny, he became one of the first singing cowboys of film, albeit via dubbing. Wayne also appeared in some of the Three Musketeers Western, not Musketeers, but Musketeers, whose title was a play on the Dumas classic. He was eventually mentored by stuntman in riding and other Western skills. Stuntman Yakima Kunut and Wayne developed and perfected stunts and on-screen fisticuff techniques that are still in use. One of the main innovations with which Wayne is credited in his early Poverty Row westerns is allowing the good guys to fight as convincingly as the bad guys, by not always making them fight clean. Wayne claimed before he came along it was standard practice that the hero must always fight clean. The heavy was allowed to hit the hero in the head with a chair or throw a kerosene lamp at him or kick him in the stomach, but the hero could only knock the villain down politely and then wait until he rose. I changed all that. I threw chairs and lamps. I fought hard, and I fought dirty. I fought to win. Now, before this and after this, you knew something was coming, but the really, really major role again was Stagecoach. Now, down the road, we'll be doing a podcast just on Stagecoach, but for now, this is the early legends of John Wayne, because when you say a Renaissance man, he could do anything, and basically, was he destined for superstardom? I think so, yes, because you look at the great things he was involved with, and the people that supported his career, they knew something was going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's our latest John Wayne podcast talking about his early years. If you like what you're doing here, give us a like, comment, or subscribe or share. And we appreciate your dropping by, and we appreciate John Wayne as much as you do. Thanks for listening. Bye.